tiny particle of sand, this me, that you, that sun, that earth, those black holes, those stars, those planets, this entire universe, what all are we made up of? Well, the answer lies in the M theory. M theory says that the journey that started from molecules like H2O goes to atom like hydrogen, then goes in the electron, proton and neutron, from there to the subatomic particles of particle physics like quarks, leptons and force carrier particles. Now what next? Now tiny bits of energies that looks like one-dimensional string. These strings can vibrate in 10 dimension of space and 1 dimension of time. Because of this, it have different vibrational patterns. When the strings vibrate, then they produce subatomic particles like up quarks, and others, like strings of guitar, produce different notes and music when they vibrate. Still amazed? In wow or in shock, what is this 10 dimension of space? We live in 3 dimension space, right? Don't worry, come with me, I'll explain. As I said, I'll explain how the 3-dimensional space that we live in can have 10 dimension of space. Look at this beautiful white thread on your screen. Now let me ask you, according to you, how many dimensions this thread has? Definitely you will say 1 dimension, but even if you do not say that and have any doubt, ask yourself in how many direction or in how many dimension you can walk on that thread. Now definitely your answer will be one direction, either backward or the forward, right? Hold on. Now look at this little friend, that ant on that thread. The thread that was one dimension for you, you was allowed to walk only on one dimension, either backward or forward, whereas this tiny ant can move in 2 dimensions, that one long straight dimension that you was allowed to move, but it can also move in the other dimension, that circular dimension. Look at that, look at that. It is moving on that other dimension as well, that circular dimension. The summary of M theory till now is that we have tiny bits of energies that looks like one-dimensional string and can vibrate in 10 dimension of space and 1 dimension of time. We just now did an analogy to know that the space can have hidden dimensions like that thread had. But the main question is that why should we study M theory? What is so special about this? So the answer is that string theory explains so many phenomena that the normal physics cannot explain, like the physics behind the black holes. And of course, one interesting fact that string theory explains is why the force of gravity is so weak comparison to other. Well, we have less time, but we can understand this phenomena. Come with me, we'll just discuss and we'll know how the force of gravity is so weak. Basic idea is that the force of gravity is not weak, but it just appeared to be weak. M theory predicts a particle called graviton, which is massless, have spin 2 and is force carrier particle like photon, but it has some special characteristic to move in extra dimension. And to understand that, let us have one analogy. So here is that analogy. Think of this bowl as 3-dimensional space that we live in, and this water as a force carrier particle, graviton. As I mentioned, graviton has special characteristics to move in extra dimension. We'll see that just right now. Think of this plate as extra dimension or parallel membrane mentioned by M theory. Now we'll see how the graviton of our analogy will move from that 3-dimensional space to this extra dimension, and this is exactly what happens in the real case according to M theory. The graviton from our 3-dimensional space moves to extra dimension. That is why the quantity of graviton is less in our 3-dimensional space in comparison with other force carrier particle. That is why the force of gravity is weak in our 3-dimensional space. Look at these water droplets. They have moved from that bowl to this plate. Though there is no experimental or practical result of M theory yet, then the question arises why to study that. And as an answer, I would like to quote this famous scientist.